We often hear this saying that a no is a no. And we often don't hear enough that if I'm not a yes, then I'm actually a no. If I'm not a full yes, if I'm just a partial yes, or I'm a yes to this, but I'm not a yes to that, then I'm a no. I was working with a client a few days ago, and she said to me, firstly, she really struggled with sexual abuse in her past and neglect and abandonment by her mother. And she said to me, Steph, I was never really a no, but I wasn't a yes. I wasn't a yes. And I said to her, that is a no. You and your boundaries were violated. That is a no. If you're not a full yes, you are a no. And she's been so conditioned to not blame others and to accept all the responsibility that she was even sharing in such a way that, oh, well, it wasn't really, I was under the influence of alcohol and I sort of wanted to, but I did. And she was attempting to make excuses for what had happened to her because she was so hurt and because of her conditioning and her patterning. And I very kindly, gently, compassionately interrupted her and I said, hey, you were hurt. You were invaded upon. You were violated. Your boundaries were broken. You weren't a full yes. And maybe you were a yes to kissing, but you weren't a yes to groping. Maybe you were a yes to groping, but you weren't a yes to being naked. Maybe you were a yes to oral sex, but you weren't a yes to full penetrative sex. It doesn't matter. If you are not a yes, then you are a no. And your yes fucking matters. And your no matters. And your boundaries matter. And you have to know your worth. You have to, because when we don't know our worth, we allow people to treat us in such a way that satisfies them. We think if we can make them happy, then maybe they'll love us a little more. Maybe they'll give us that thing that we really want, that thing that we want to be seen. We just want to be seen. We want to be understood. We want to be appreciated. We want to be respected. We want to be accepted. And often, in unhealthy expression, we will do whatever we can to get that, to receive that, to experience that in the world. We will do whatever we can to get that, whatever we can. And we will sacrifice ourselves and we will violate ourselves and we will allow others to violate us as well. We will. And so much of this just stems from insecurity, low self-worth, not being valued and seen as a young person, as a child in the world. Developmentally, we weren't attuned to our parents. We didn't feel safe in our own bodies. And so what do? We attempt to seek that sense of safety through others, and we often appease others. We make them happy, we make them right. We make their needs bigger and better than our own. We prioritize them and what's important to them over ourselves. And we struggle to voice, we struggle to express our truth. And we think, oh, well, it's just a little more. And then a little more and a little more and a little more turns into a lot more. And a lot more of what you did not want. It's almost like the boiling frog syndrome. And we don't realize it. And it stems from unresolved pain, unresolved trauma. And we think that's what we're worth. We think we are worth what other people want of us or want to take from us. And we don't believe that we are worthy of what we need and what we want. And we place ourselves in uncomfortable positions. And we don't want to. And we don't know how to say no. We don't know how to use our voice. We don't know how to say, yes, I want this, and no, I do not want that. And we suffer for it. And so much of that inner work is coming back into fullness, coming back into trusting ourselves, trusting that we are making the right decisions, the most aligned decisions for who we are in the world, for our truth, for our value, for what matters most to us. That we count, that we matter, that we are important. And in recognizing that importance, we grow a little bit. We expand our sense of self and our worthiness in the world. And we begin to believe a little more in who we are. And we're able to say no well before our egos are searching for validation outside of ourselves. We're able to temper that ego. We're able to temper that wound and that fear. And we're able to keep ourselves safe because for the first time in our lives, we believe in who we are. And we love ourselves. We love ourselves. We are not responsible for the actions of others. We can only be responsible for our own actions. And if we don't take responsibility for our own actions, well, guess what? We're disempowering ourselves. We're losing ourselves. We're losing the most important parts of who we are. No one has any right to take away our sovereignty, our autonomy, our decision making. And we should not be giving it away. However, we do. We feel that immaturity, that lack of confidence, that fear, that pain, that trauma, that sense of, I don't know, uncertainty. And it moves through our body with such intensity that we give our power away or we allow others to take our power from us. And I'm not saying for a fucking moment that it's our fault that bad things or evil things or painful things or fearful things happen to us. No. Perpetrators are perpetrators. And perpetrators need victims. And victims need perpetrators. I just don't want you to be a victim anymore. I don't want you to hurt anymore. Because what was done to you when you were younger, when you weren't able, when you didn't have mastery of your faculties, when you didn't have your voice, and how that shaped and formed you, it's not your fault. And it is your responsibility to shift that, because if it's not yours, then who's going to do it for you? No one can. And you're just in this disempowered, helpless, hopeless, victim-based state. And you're better than that, and you're more than that, and you deserve more than that. And it may take a minute to shift that pain and to move that trauma and to connect to that part of you that you haven't connected to for so long. It may take a while, perhaps more than you may know, but it is a worthy pursuit, because in that you get to rediscover your brilliance, your light. You get to bring that forth into the world, and that can be scary because it's so novel to you. It's so unfamiliar. It's mysterious and simultaneously painful. Do I deserve this light? Yes, you do, is the answer. And you must remind yourself of that by surrounding yourself with people that you trust, respect, and revere, and being in an environment that is conducive to your growth and to your health and to your love moving through you. And when that love gets blocked, you have people mirroring back to you. You are worthy. You are important enough. You are important enough, and your yes matters and your no matters. Both are equally important. And the whole of you is important. Your previous life experiences, your current state of being, and your future aspirations, all of you is important. All of you is needed here. And so if you're not a full yes, then you are a no. If you carry uncertainty, then you are a no. I'm deeply sorry for you and for your path if you have experienced that pain of invasion, of violence. You don't deserve that. No one deserves that. And it's time for you to get your power back in the healthiest way possible. And you are not alone on this journey. Power and blessings to you, and honoring you deeply.